The flag's at half-mast, a gesture of empathy from one town, one of so many scarred by the tragedy of gun violence. But there's despair here too. Almost a decade ago, 6-year-old Dylan Hockley was murdered in his school along with 25 others. His mum, Nicole, set up the Sandy Hook Promise Foundation. With little hope of gun control, it focuses on trying to help schools identify potential killers in advance.
Your thoughts and prayers are meaningless unless there's something substantive behind it that backs it up. And a lot of these politicians, they can do all the thoughts and prayers in the world, but then they don't take any action whatsoever. So their words are meaningless. If you can't act on it, it doesn't matter.
The recurrence of school shootings has left no shortage of national despair too.
The problem which came to the awful conclusion you face here is a demon we have to do more to fight.
Our nation is shocked and saddened by the news of the shootings at Virginia Tech today.
Since I've been president, this is the 4th time we have come together to comfort a grieving community torn apart by mass shooting.
As a nation, we have to ask, when in God's name are we going to stand up to the gun lobby?
But the outrage hasn't affected gun sales. 42% of adult Americans own a gun or live with someone who does. And they're buying more. Last year, almost 20 million were sold. On average, there are now more than 100 gun deaths a day in America. And although mass shootings account for a tiny fraction of the total, from Sandy Hook to Columbine to Virginia Tech, they are seared into this country's consciousness. But with each one, it is not change that appears increasingly inevitable, but the lack of it. While President Biden was urging more regulation, others were defending lawful gun rights.
You see Democrats and a lot of folks in the media whose immediate solution is to try to restrict the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens. That doesn't work. It's not effective. It doesn't prevent crime. We know what does prevent crime, which is going after felons and fugitives and those with serious mental illness.
On the fire station roof, there's a star for each school child or staff member killed here. We can't tolerate this anymore, President Obama said then. But 10 years on, a solution seems as far away as ever. John Sudworth, BBC News, Sandy Hook.
Let's go live to Uvalde, and our North America editor, Sarah Smith, joins us now. Sarah, is there any sign, do you think, in Congress that there is any movement possible on the attitude to changing the law on gun crime?
Well, they're talking about it, and they're talking across the aisle between both political parties about it, but even the Democrats who desperately want to pass gun legislation to restrict access to gun